Today we're going to wrap this tree in Christmas lights, and if all goes well, it should look like this when we're done. So first thing is we're going to go over what we need to put together this tree. I have 10 sets of mini LED Christmas lights. These are by ProChristmas, and these are coaxial connections. So I'll talk about that in a second. And these are lights that I really like to put on my trees because I have so much versatility and options of how I can put it together. These lights are RBGWW, which means they're red, blue, and green with warm white, and I can change them to any color I want. So I have to have this controller, which plugs in on one end and plugs into the lights on the other end. I use this controller to make these lights any color that I want. And the trick to what makes these lights very professional looking and clean and look nice is these accessories that I can use to branch off all of the different lights that I'm going to use. So I plug it in down here and I can put lights off of different ends. So I'm not going to need a lot of different plugins. I'm not going to need to just plug them all into the backs of each other. And these all create a weather tight seal so that water's not going to get into them. I left them out this morning and they got dew, so I'm letting them dry out in the sun so that there is no water, because if the water's in there, it'll stay. And I have some extension cords that I can use to connect from here to a light. I'll show you how I use those later on. Very useful. I'm going to use an automatic timer. This is a timer that runs by the sun, and I can have it be dusk to dawn, 2 to 4 hours, however long I want it to be on. And I have a power cord, and I really like power cords that have the 3 end pieces, and I'll show you how I do this. So these are all of the pieces that I'm going to need today to connect this tree. So now let's go get started. Now we're at the tree, so let's get started. The first thing I did was I took my extension cord, I plugged the other end into a GFCI outlet, and I brought this end over to the tree. I wrap it around the top branch so that it's hanging down like this, so that water's not going to get into it. The second thing I'm going to do is grab my automatic timer, and I like this because I can do dusk to dawn, on or off, or just have it run for a few hours, but I'm going to turn it on so that for the day I'm getting power while I'm working on it, and that way I know it's working. And right there I have power. So the first part I'm going to connect is my controller for my LED lights. And so this is going to plug into the bottom just like this so that the water also will not get into it. So I try to keep water from getting into all of these. And then I'm going to use this extension cord that I have right here. And I'm going to plug this in here so that I'm not pulling on it. And that's going to go into that. Rubber gasket creates a watertight seal. Put it right there, and we're all set. And that way I can have my controller down there, and then this can come up to my 7-piece outlet that all my lights are going to plug into. Put it in, tighten it up, and with the rubber gasket, with the tight piece right here, it's not gonna go anywhere. I'm not getting water, and I can set this up top right here so that all of my lights can run out of one cord. So now that this is set up, let's get some lights and start connecting it to our connector piece. So let's start by connecting some of these lights right here and decide where we want to go. I find that if you keep it rolled up like this, it helps it pretty nicely when you're going to wrap it around the branches. So let's start with this branch right here, and let's go right here. We have the rubber gasket on there, and we're going to tighten it up. Right here we have power, the light's working, and we're going to make that nice and tight so it's not going anywhere. At the other end, I have a cap so that water won't get in. And that got that nice and tight. Now, let's start wrapping this branch and going towards the top. These are 100 light bulbs per string. And if you can do it fairly even as you wrap around the branch, it'll look pretty nice. I usually try to keep about 4 inches between each string. And then we can go all the way up this branch until we get to the end. And then there's different ways that I like to end. Sometimes it gets caught. There we go. It does help to wear long sleeve shirts so that you're not getting all tore up, and we'll keep going to the top. And now I'm gonna stop right here, and we're gonna go back to the middle, and we're gonna see how many strands we can get started just to get an idea, and then we'll take the ladder and go around the outside and finish the top of the branches. So now we've got 2 strands started coming out of our connector piece in the middle, and I've gone up about as far as I can reach, and then I'll get the ladder. But before we get too far, let's come do the base of this tree, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do to try to keep it nice and neat right here. So I'm gonna get a strand, and I'm going to put it in right here, and then I'm going to wrap it around tight where I can hold all of this up against the tree so that people won't see it. So let me do that real quick and then I'll show you what it looks like. Now that my lights are plugged all the way into my tree, you have my power right here, my sensor right here, my controller plugged into the bottom up here so we're not going to get water, and I wrapped my Christmas lights around the tree so that this is nice and tight and it's not going anywhere, and my power cord that goes up, which is bright yellow, is in the back, so you're not going to be able to see it from the front. And when I got the end of my Christmas light right here, and I just kind of fold it in under the lights right there, and it's not going to go anywhere. And these are the lights that are all one piece so that we're not going to get any water into them. They are waterproof. You're not going to have any issues with water, so having no water issues makes this work really well. And now we've got the big part of the tree that we need to get working on. All right, on this one we just have one branch that comes all the way out, so let's take just one strand and we're going to connect it to this connector piece right here. And then we'll put one strand there. Let's look at what we have. We have the 7 connector piece in the middle. On one of the pieces we have a Y piece and it's connected to that. And that has 2 cords and they're going to go up either side of this part of the tree. So we have a branch there and a branch there, and it will go up either side. We have this one that will go on this branch, this will go on this branch. What we had to do over here is we have an extension cord. This isn't actually the Christmas wires. This extension cord comes all the way around to this Y right here, which will go right here, and this Christmas light wire will go around this branch, and this one will go around this branch. So what I've done is I've put lights all the way around the bottom, every place that I can reach, and now I'm going to get out the big ladder and I'm going to go all to the top and fill out all these branches by wrapping each strand around each branch. I have one open spot right here in the middle, and I'm probably going to use an extension cord and come up to one of the ends if my lights that I put to the top don't reach the end, and I can start a new strand at the end or plug it into the strand. We will see what happens, but we're getting towards the end. All right, we're at the top of this branch right now, and this tree is getting taller and taller every year. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our light strand, and this is the end of the branch, and I'm going to wrap it around going towards the branch. There's a Y right there, and when I get to that, I'll either go on some of these small ones or maybe come back, and then I have a really long extension cord that will just go down and connect to the bottom down there, so I don't have to worry about making sure I reach all the way to the bottom. So that's where the extension cords come in, and now let's get that part up. So I have this extension cable right here that will go all the way down this tree and plug in down there. And from all the way up there comes my extension right here, and it goes into the last connected piece, just like that. And we were all set. And so here's the benefit of using the coaxial lights from ProChristmas. They all connect right here, they're all watertight, and they all go all the way up the tree to everywhere that we need. We have the Y connection right here, and the whole tree now has lights on every branch. So we'll come back when it gets darker and we'll check it out and make sure it's all working just like we need. All right, we finished, and here we have our final tree. Right here is the warm white, and I'm gonna go through some of the different colors that these lights can do. And we use the ProChristmas lights with the coaxial connections to get the waterproof connection and to have all the variety of different ways to put the lights up through all of the branches. It took me about a day to get these up, but I'm pretty excited. I already have people walking by saying, oh, we're ready for Christmas. And so I have one more tree that I'm gonna put up. This will be red and green. I think it's gonna be green on the bottom and red around the edges. I have never done the other tree like this, so it's gonna be something different, so follow along and we'll do that one in a couple of days. But here's all the varieties that these lights will do. So enjoy your decorating and we'll get ready for the next one.